I'm going to show you a few demonstrations on continuous line contour drawing. I had previously done a video with this and posted it, but I was not really happy because the camera angle was so different from my view, and again, just wasn't really happy with it. So we're going to work with some smaller objects this time. And in this case, I've got the camera setting straight down on the objects, and so my eye view is a little closer. Continuous line contour drawing, which is usually just called continuous line, is when you put your pen or pencil down to start and you don't pick it up until you are totally finished drawing the object in front of you. Like any kind of contour drawing, this is a really great exercise and observation. When I teach this to my students, we talk about contour line drawing, and we talk about how with contour line you were drawing the edges of the object, inside edges, outside edges, overlapped edges, but you're training your eye to follow those edges and then have your pen following the same path on your paper. When I teach this to younger students, I tell them to imagine a little ant crawling around that edge, and I tell them that I'm taking my pen or my pencil and I'm following that ant along that edge, and that kind of helps them to visualize this. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. As I always say, it's hard to draw and talk at the same time, so there's going to be some gaps in my narrative here, but bear with me. And here we go. I always pick a starting point right here. And again, truly an exercise in observation here. So let's see. Let's go ahead and start here. Remember, with contour line drawings, you're not going for realism. Your drawing may suffer proportion-wise. Mine almost always does. But you're going for observation here. And again, it's one of those types of drawings which may not be beautiful in your eyes, may not be something that you wish to frame or hang up, but if you do it, it's going to help you with your drawing. I like the looseness of it. My students always liked it because if you mess up, it is no big deal. I always told them, if someone says, you messed up, say, well, you know what? My crazy art teacher wouldn't let me pick up my pen until I was totally done. I said, go ahead and blame it on me. I'm good. I'm going to just do a little semblance of the letters in there. Again, they're not super important to the rest of the drawing. Now, because I'm doing continuous line, I can't pick up my pen and go to another part. I have to kind of go through, so there's some overlapping and such there. So for example, I have to make the opening here, but then I've got this piece coming out of it. And an elliptical piece with a key ring here. Sorry if you heard that. My watch is telling me it's time to get up and move Not going to happen right now. Okay, and I do have a ring in here. I'm going to go ahead and put that into... I'm going to go over it a couple times so that it really shows up. Here we go. All right, back to this one. You don't really necessarily have to do shading in these drawings, but if you want to, you can. Just again, you're not picking up your drawing instrument. Now you can stop. You can stop and look where you're going. If you're using a marker, you may not want to stop too long, because depending on the marker and the type of paper you're using, you might leave a big black dot there. Now I can honestly say that I did not practice this beforehand, so you're getting a true practice drawing here. Nothing rehearsed. Got another key overlapping. And I can see an edge on here. I'm not sure if you can see that from your view. And again, if you make a mistake or you're not happy with part of it, you can do what's called a restatement. And all that is you draw over what you've already done. So for example, I'm going to do the edge of this next key. If I accidentally put it over there, which is wrong, no big deal. What I do is I just go back and draw over it. And that, my friends, is a restatement. Takes a while to get high school students comfortable with that. Mostly because they're with their peers and it's a little scary and you don't want to mess up because then people give you a hard time. Okay, that is definitely a mistake. I put this key way too close to the other one, so I'm going to restate it. Bring it over here. And I do have an opening or two here. I lost some concentration there. I can clean this up just a little bit by going over the lines, and that works. If I wanted to, I can even shade here to show the difference, or not the difference, but the space between the keys, and that's up to you. All depends on how much it bothers you. Apparently it really bothered me. And I'm going back and fixing some things. I always like to put a little bit of a shading in there. I'm going to continue this here. Maybe a little cross-hatching. I just like to do that to make parts stand out. But, you know, don't be afraid to try different things. Again, if you're just practicing to get better, that's fine. Not getting a grade on it or anything like that. So there's no pressure. Okay, so there is one continuous line drawing. And you notice that wherever I went with this, I did not pick up my pen until now. All right, so there you go. It's a very loose drawing. You can tell what it is. I had to spend my time concentrating on parts there. and how they went together. Again, proportion's not perfect, but that's to be expected with a contour line drawing. Let's try another one. Now, you're not relegated to just small objects. Let me get this lined up a little bit. I just happen to be using an overhead camera right now, and small objects just kind of work the best in that situation. Mark my screen a little bit. There you go. I don't like to go off screen. You can do corners of rooms. You can do landscapes. I always had fun with my students. I had them do each other. They had to sit across from each other and do continuous line drawings of each other. And that was so much fun. They laughed through the whole thing. And you know, you can get a class of high schoolers to laugh. That's pretty good. All right, continuous line again. All right, I have an edge here. I'm going to put that in. And I want that to stand out, so I'm going to put a little shading on that. Now, I will tell you that there are some people that do not like continuous line drawing. And that's fine. I mean, everyone's got their favorite way they like to draw. This happens to be one of mine, I'll be honest. Some people cannot handle the looseness of it. They like things more like drafting, architectural type drawing, like perspective. And that's fine. All those things are good to learn. You know, the more types of drawing you learn, the better you are as an artist. You're more prolific, and that you can do a lot of different things. And then, you know, you can choose what you like. I tried to teach my students a lot of different techniques. And then there were a lot of times, especially in the advanced groups, that when we were drawing things, they got to choose from their arsenal of techniques, things that they knew how to do. All right, let's get back to this here. Again, people always wonder what to draw. I just grabbed some things out of the junk drawer in my kitchen. If this has something to do with one of our dog collars or harnesses, I'm still not entirely sure what it is. Also have an edge down here, and good, I'm not going off the screen yet. If you have plants, I have a lot of them in my home. Plants are also good for continuous line. They lend themselves to that flowiness, if that's even a word. That looseness, I guess, better way to say it. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put this cable in here. And I am watching where it crosses and where it touches the rest of the object. Got a little twist tie in here. And again, that all comes with observation. And the more you do it, the better you're going to get at it, just like anything else. You know, one of the things I tend to preach about to people is that drawing is a learned skill. like playing an instrument or learning a sport. If you don't practice it, you will not get any better at it. In fact, you may lose some of your abilities and may have to catch up next time you try. Let's see, let's put this one around here. And I've got this piece under here. Almost done. I know sometimes it can get old watching somebody draw or do art. I learned as a teacher to keep my demonstrations shorter. Of course, I wasn't using video at the time. But I knew I had to make my demonstrations shorter when a girl in class fell sound asleep sitting up and started snoring. So that was a really good sign to cut my demonstrations down into smaller chunks. Of course, you have the luxury of being able to stop this video at any time and turn it off if it gets to be too long to you. Putting a little shadow in there. Now I'm just going to go in. Like I said, I like to shade in my contour line drawings. Again, I love the looseness. I hope you take some time to try this yourself. Again, good practice. And if you're worried about what anyone thinks, don't show anyone else. Do it for yourself. Use it as stress relief. Have fun with it. One of my friends who is also an art teacher gave me some valuable advice. He said, if you're not having fun with it, you're not doing it right. And on that note, I think I'll say goodbye. Y'all have a wonderful day and happy drawing.